Okay, it's already past 6 o'clock in this case, and I am here by myself. So, again, I'm going to talk about random things. I'm not actually going to read the Bible yet again. I'm currently looking at other things on my computer, so I'm distracted away from the Bible, but it has my mind on other things to do with this group, and more so the videos themselves. I've got no idea of how long it's going to take for me to be able to uh, have this particular video edited and uh, placed on the group or uploaded online. Today, this is the 6 p.m. meeting for the 2nd of January, Monday, the 2nd of February, sorry, uh, 2026. And I'm guessing it might be a week or two before I even get there. Right now, to let you all know, I have 6 daily meetings just sitting in folders that have not yet been edited. They have not yet been touched. I have not got the time. So this will be the seventh one of those. I also have other messages, which are random messages of the like. I've got a message about issues, trouble, and disruptions. I've got one about Pascal's wager. I've got 13A, whatever 13A is. I'll have to look at that. 14, these are the random ones. 14, a random one on purpose, and there's one on suicide that it has. I think that one I've got to, maybe work on. I don't think I'm happy with that as it is. So I think it's going to be one of those rare ones where I'm actually going to look at it again because I think I want to add to it. And I don't think I've ever done that before, added to a video once I've completed it or completed the first take of the video, not talking about the editing. I think I want to do another section and add it. Anyway, so I have, what are we adding here? One, two, three, four, five. And there's something that says testimony who. Six. Well, that's 10, including this one now. That's 11 videos that I need to work on to upload some videos to the group. They're all piling up. I've had a rather busy week and I've been quite busily getting pretty much nothing done. There's been a lot of disruptions this week. I have probably talked about it in other messages, so I'm not going to bring up all the disruptions again. But there are things like technical issues, for example. And it just brings back to me a need that I have. And I'm not asking for me, I'm not going to get anything out of it. I'm asking for the group. I have no real time to do these things. I am working on the group or working on these videos or recording these videos or editing these videos or creating advertising or following up on advertising or following up with other people's Christian needs, etc., or going out and evangelizing or trying to communicate with potential evangelists for the future or doing whatever. There are many, many things that I'm doing, and I start. most days at 8 a.m. Some of the time I might start a little earlier, like 7:30 a.m. I It's incredibly rare if I start a few minutes after 8, like up to 8:30. I mean, that's a very late start for me. And I'm still sitting at the computer at 8 o'clock at night. Of course, I take a few minutes to have dinner, and on occasion, I might not have had a shower before 8 o'clock, so I might have, a 20-minute shower or something, for the whole time, including getting undressed, getting dressed, shaving, whatever. It's like 20 minutes. I don't spend 20 minutes in the shower. That's 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wednesday's just a little bit different. I might also do some shopping or might have appointments like medical appointments on a Wednesday, though these are required activities. And they're activities I can't just forego and give that to God, the ministry, the group, etc. I have some really interesting messages coming up, and I don't want to give these messages anymore. I think some of these messages you're going to find quite intriguing and quite useful, though I'm not called to give messages. I'm not called to teach you. I'm not called to go out and evangelize. I'm not called to do those street interviews that I was doing. I'm not called to go out and feed people. I'll be doing that pretty soon anyway, but I'm not called to do that. I'm called to put an organization together that has a three-tiered structure. Tier one, introducing people to God, the evangelism side, and getting their relationship with God strong. Tier two, helping them find their call if they don't already know, helping them train in it if they haven't already trained, and tier three, launching that call, and in the launch of that call, put a community of believers around them to help them in the initial period of that call, whatever that call is, whether it's a fivefold call of a pastor or an evangelist or teacher, whatever, or whether it's a support service role, a helps role. It could be a role as an usher or a counselor or somebody in the church kitchen or the church car park, whatever it might be. It might be somebody that's out doing street ministry, or might be, hospital visitation, or whatever it is. These are all support roles. They're not roles of the fivefold major ministry, being apostles, pastors, teachers, prophets, and evangelists. But everybody, whoever you are, you all have a role. I have a role. We all have a role. I'm no better than any of you. I might be giving these messages, but it's not what I'm supposed to do. As mentioned, I might go out to the parks and tell people about God. It's not what I'm meant to do. Of course, everybody's called to evangelism. Now, having said that everybody's called to evangelism, everybody has a call on their life. It's not a commitment to God. Everybody needs to commit to God, but a call. You are called to do something. Your calling is a role. After all, the parable of the talents, Jesus talks of a lord or master or a person who had servants, etc., who went away. And before he went away, he gave 5 talents, and a talent is an amount of money. It's like a pound of silver, for example. to one servant. He gave 2 talents to another servant and 1 talent to a third servant. It doesn't say there was a fourth servant that he gave nothing to. Everybody has something that they should be doing for God. Do you love God? Then show God you love Him by saying, I want to do something for you, God. Don't do something to earn your way to heaven. It's a totally different story. If a rich person came along and said to me, Here, I'm going to give you $10,000, I would happily say, Thank you very much. Is there something I can do for you to bless you because you've done something wonderful for me? Well, does far more than giving you $10,000. $10,000 is nothing compared to a eternal life of wonder, or even the wonder you can have in this life now. That's something else that I need you to listen to at some stage. I've due to this week being throwing me out, and haven't had enough time to do many things. One of the things it's done is put me in a direction where I, on top of all this, need to write at least one, probably two, maybe even 3 books. And putting the books aside for the moment, back to this, getting things done. Whatever you're called to, if you're called to something in the church, great. Get out there and I won't say get out there and do it. Tell us, and we will help you get there, especially if it's a fivefold role. We can train you up to be a pastor or a teacher or the like. I'm not the most brilliant teacher. I feel confident that I can say, you've probably heard some things from me that you haven't heard from any other teacher. And those things that you've heard from me, you check your Bible. They'll be biblical. And I've got so much more of this. Even some of the things I was just talking about, some of these other messages, etc. As I said, Pascal's wager. That's not original, but I've got a twist on Pascal's wager that is original. Uh, I'm not going to explain Pascal's wager right now either. I just don't have the time. This message alone would end up going 3, 4 hours if I was to talk about all these things as well, or to expand on even just these messages in front of me. And I keep putting my hand forward because I'm looking at a computer screen. This is my computer camera. And on the screen itself, below the camera, I've got a folder open that has these MP4 video files in it. And that's where I'm getting the information from. And that's all the information in front of me, just a few video files, the names of them. Excuse me. Now, why am I telling you this? If you're not in your call, you are the equivalent to the servant with 1 talent. I'll get back to the talents first, and then I'll get back to my personal reason for saying this. And yes, I have a desire here as well, but it's not a desire to benefit me as a person. It's to benefit you and to benefit God and to benefit everyone else around. Because I'm going to get absolutely nothing from it. Because if I was to pass away tonight, I would still want to give this message and have somebody else put it online tomorrow. It really isn't about anything that I'm going to get. It's about what's going to happen for you by you stepping up and for the group by you stepping up, and for your church if it's you stepping up there, and for God because who are you stepping up for? And that's one of the things I've changed in talking about these tiers as well. The first tier, your relationship with God, that is to step up your training in your calling, that is to step forward, and your launch of your calling with the community around, that is to step out, step out into your call, out into the world with your call, etc. So I'm going to start talking about uh, step up, step forward, and step out as well. It's just something I thought about over the last couple of days and thought that would be useful. Um, Maybe it's not. Okay, and maybe very little of the teaching that I've been giving has been of use to you. Again, it's not going to last forever. I'm not called to be your teacher. I'm called to run that three-tier organization and run it to a point where I can hand it over to other people. I'm not called to be like the Pope or something. I'm not some wonderful leader. I'm just a person that God said, frame this organization and get people into it and have it go for me, for God, what I'm saying, for me. I just happen to have a moderate ability to teach. I'm not a fantastic teacher. I'm not your, I can't even think of his first name, the guy from Singapore, something Prince. Um, doesn't matter. I'm not your Kenneth Copeland. I'm not your, what was Hagen's first name? Keith Hagen or something? Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. I can't even remember half of these famous people. Um, it's not important. None of this is important. What's important is God and you stepping into what you're called to. And again, some of what I'm going to produce will give you insight there. At least I believe that it will, because I am talking about things that I haven't learnt from people. I don't know anyone that knows the things that I'm talking about. I had to learn them by reading the Bible and researching verses by going back to the Greek through the Strong's Concordance and Dictionary, etc., and through Thayer's definitions as well. And from that written material, not something people have preached to me, I've gained a totally different insight. I I went to Bible college 27, 28 years ago, and I fell away and backslid about 25 years ago. I've had nothing to do with any church, with any Bible, I've not read it, nothing for 25 years, except for maybe like an hour here or there when somebody asked or brought up something about the Bible, and it's like, okay, fine, I'll go find this. Right. So, except for that odd little bit a couple of times. So, I'm somebody that, in a sense, knows nothing. And if I can do this as somebody who is nobody and knows basically nothing, then anyone can do it. Please step up. You're called to as well. Back to the talents. One was given five, one was given two, one was given one. The one given five made five extra and brought 10 back to the master when the master returned from being away. And he said, well done, faithful servant. You're going to be in charge of all that. The one with two came back and he doubled it as well. He had got two extra. And the master said the same thing. Well done. You've done what you were supposed to do. Not beyond what you're supposed to do. You did what was expected of you. I'll reward you, and you will be in charge of much. And the one that had one, like any one of you that happens to be sitting there and not having stepped out in your call, buried that one. He did nothing with it. And he buried that one talent and came back and said, I was so afraid because you, my master, reap where you don't sow. You gain where you have not invested. And I buried the talent and now I'm bringing it back to you. And the master said, you evil servant, you know that I reap where I didn't sow. You know where I gain where I didn't invest. Or that particular words weren't correct, but it was along that kind of concept. I'm just quoting something pretty close. And he said, take that talent and give it to the one who has 10 and throw this servant out into the darkness or the place of um, gnashing of teeth, etc., which, whatever the description was, it was basically the same description as given to hell. And basically, the story is saying that he cast the servant who was not evil. He didn't do bad things. He just merely didn't do what he was called to do. Full stop, the end. And that was enough to be cast out and thrown toward into what is described in the same words as hell. So we all need to step up. I just wish I could step up more. Except these things have been taking my time and I've been getting caught behind. Normally, I'd only have one or two of those extra messages to catch up on and edit and get up online, etc. As I'd be getting up, I'd be posting a new message every couple of days at least. And I've maybe posted one in the last week rather than two or three. I haven't had the time. So, can one of you edit for me? Can one of you do some of the other things for me, like communicate with other members, like, and I've got to try and find a list of things that needs to be done. I know I won't have one at quick, simple, easy access. I know I might have a note or two here, but things like we need people to act as representatives, sort of, within their local churches, and not be standing for us as us being their church. We're not a church. If you've heard of Acts International, they're the group that puts Bibles in motel rooms and hotel rooms. But there are people in Acts International from the Baptist Church, from Church of Christ, from Assemblies of God, from Pentecostal churches, from Catholic churches, from whatever it is. They are a non-denominational group. We're one step further. This is an interdenominational group. We're not outside of the denominations. We will be working inside each of them. But we are not any one denomination. We are not a church. We are like them, as in a group that with a particular call and ministry, as in the group itself we are here to develop Christians and for those Christians to develop to a point where evangelism is made available for everybody to do and more people will come into the church, etc. It's a revolving circle and all that, and I'm not going to go into that. Again, this is taking almost half an hour already, and I feel like I've only just started talking. There is so much. I seriously could go on for hours talking about this. Okay, we also need things like development supervisors. Now, that's a person to just see that new Christians are learning about God, they're developing a good relationship with God, they're then moving into finding out what their calling is, they're moving into training for that calling, and then launching out into the calling. Now, development supervisor isn't one that's going to take them through those stages. We'll have other people. We'll have other people do that. But a development supervisor would be somebody that is watching over those other people who are taking them through those things. So you've got the new Christian who's going through, let's say, that first tier. They are learning about God. And you've got one of our group teaching them about the basics of God. And you've got another one of our group that is teaching another person something about their call. And you've got another person in our group who is supporting a new pastor that has been trained through the group. And the development supervisor is checking on our members, not, as in, I'm here to tell you what to do, but, it's like just to encourage them and to just say, look, have you got any questions? What do you need to learn yourself to do your role? And the development supervisor would be, in a sense, in charge, not that they're their boss, but there to help all the members of the church. And then we need other people that just want to do the social side. Let's say we've got somebody in Detroit doing the social side. They would contact everyone and say, look, Friday night we're going to go to a coffee shop. Come join us. So the group will have a social side, a local social side as well. So we need people to coordinate those things. And we need people to be structure supervisors or structure coordinators, if you prefer coordinator than supervisor. Somebody to check that our ads are running and somebody to check that our ads are appropriate and someone to check that the physical things are getting done. Not necessarily human physical things, but things that like advertising, whatever. Anyway, we need your help. So if you're not doing something for God right now, consider that. And we need it not for me. Again, I'm not necessarily going to get anything out of it. The group itself will grow, and the growth of the group is to benefit God, not me. If I'm gone tomorrow, so what? The group should be going on in its own strength once I'm gone. And that's what I'm trying to set up. I'm trying to set up something that'll go beyond me and where I won't necessarily even be remembered. It's not about me, it's about God. Anyway, bless you, Governor Will, in Charis.